One of the most important components in a warrior man's life is to be able to wear different hats in different phases. Warrior-minded men are all in all the time, which means that when they change their hats, they need to go from here to there completely, and they need to be 100% on board with that element that they are in. They're 100% in. Let me give you a little story here. I was running a martial arts school for 7-8 years. During that time, a good portion of it, I was working under a task force, a narcotics task force. We would be around bad guys. I would have to, literally, when I finished as a narcotics agent, would have to drive to the martial arts school. And I never forget this. And I would have kids waiting for me. I have the assistant instructor stretching them out. So because our first class was a children's class. And I would have to go from dealing with bad guys and headbanging and serving warrants and buying drugs undercover and taking people down, and to coming in and being a mentor for these children and conducting a class of kids that were between the ages of 6 and 10. That was a dynamic transition because I needed to be there 100%. And I never forget, one of the students, young students, asked me, Sensei, how do you do this? What do you do on the drive from, being a narcotics undercover agent to being an instructor here, a sensei? Do you shift? Do you, think about how you're going to change? Do you morph? And do you, put your cape on, go in a booth like Superman? And it's a transition that happens seamlessly, but you have to learn to let go of one side and then dive into the other. Because the second that I get behind the wheel and I started driving, everything was focused on that. You build the ability to kind of shut something down and then enter another world. And that's a hat changing, right? You go from one thing to another to another. For me, the more often I did it, the easier it became. But there were some days, and I'm not going to lie to you here, there were some days truly that were very difficult. Some days where we were doing crazy things and putting bad guys in jail and situations arise, and you had to completely shift to teaching young kids and walk in there not jaded, right? Because sometimes you get jaded in police work, seeing the things that I had seen. One of the most important things that I can give you here is this: master changing hats, master being present within that element all the time. And as I write my book here and dive into the different 7 life elements that we live by here at the Man of War, being present in each role of your life is so truly important. I think if you can start mastering that, you'll start realizing that you can change and you don't have to carry your work or certain things to work or from work, or from this person to that person. You could literally be a clean slate every single time.